Research is a careful and detailed study into a specific problem, concern, or issue using the scientific method. It's the adult form of the science fair projects back in elementary school, where you try and learn something by performing an experiment. This is best accomplished by turning the issue into a question, with the intent of the research to answer the question. Research can be about anything, and we hear about all different types of research in the news. Cancer research as breakthrough cancer-killing treatment has no side effects in mice, and baby born with HIV cured. Each of these began with an issue or a problem, such as cancer or HIV, and they had a question. Like, does medication X reduce cancerous tissue or HIV infections? But all I've said so far is what research has done. Sort of like saying baking leads to apple pie. It doesn't really tell you anything other than the two are connected. To begin researching something, you have to have a problem, concern, or issue that has turned into a question. These can come from observing the world, prior research, professional literature, or from peers. Research really begins with the right question, because your question must be answerable. Questions like, how can I cure cancer, aren't really answerable with a study. It's too vague and not testable. Having a question creates an internal state of I need to know something. To continue the baking example, this internal state of wanting something is like having a hankering for apple pie. Since you are reading this section, we will put a social work slant on this, and hopefully lose some of the baking metaphors. Purpose of social work research. Social work researchers aim to explore and comprehend human behavior within the context of social systems and environments. This encompasses understanding how individuals interact with their communities, families, and institutions. Research findings in social work are not only intended to inform practice, but also to advocate for systemic change and social justice. Social work research investigates various aspects of human behavior, including thoughts, emotions, and actions, within the broader framework of societal influences. The knowledge derived from such research informs interventions and policies aimed at promoting social well-being and addressing systemic inequalities. For instance, social work research may explore effective strategies for criminal justice reform, including alternatives to incarceration and rehabilitation programs. Additionally, it may examine best practices for supporting families and children in diverse cultural contexts, informed by attachment theory and cultural competence principles. Furthermore, social work research plays a crucial role in understanding and addressing mental health challenges. Studies may focus on identifying barriers to accessing mental health services, evaluating the effectiveness of interventions, and advocating for policies that prioritize mental health care. In summary, the purpose of social work research is to advance knowledge, inform practice, and advocate for social change that enhances the well-being of individuals, families, and communities. Through rigorous inquiry and evidence-based approaches, social work researchers contribute to building a more just and equitable society. Research begins with an issue that comes from an observation. Let's say I am walking down the street and I see two pigeons sitting at two different windows. I'm weird, so I'll call the first pigeon Stu and the second pigeon Bill. When I walk past Stu the pigeon, I see him pecking at the glass. When I walk past Bill the pigeon, I see him just sitting there, chilling like pigeons do. So, I formulate a question: why is Stu the pigeon pecking at the glass, while Bill the pigeon does not? Next, I should do a little research into pigeons and why they might peck at things. This is background research to help me understand what I am looking for or at. Next, I have to figure out how to answer my question. There are many ways a question can be answered. Most psychological studies use laboratory experiments or naturalistic studies, which will be explored in more in-depth in another lesson. I plan on observing Stu and Bill every day I walk past them to answer my question. It isn't the most elegant or accurate study, but it should give me an answer. I create a hypothesis, which is like creating a prediction of what I think is happening, that Stu is being fed while Bill is not. By observing them, I am conducting a simple experiment and testing this hypothesis. Of the two pigeons, I learn that Stu is being fed by the people who live in the apartment behind the window, and he gets their attention by clicking on the window. I review my data and come to a conclusion: Stu pecks for food, and Bill does not. Stu gets food, while Bill gets none. My hypothesis was correct. In the realm of social work research, individuals with advanced degrees, particularly PhDs, are at the forefront of developing and conducting research projects. These individuals often undergo rigorous training in research methodologies as part of their doctoral programs and are required to produce original research, such as dissertations, prior to graduation. Additionally, within the Indian social work context, there are prominent figures who contribute significantly to research and practice in the field. Besides PhDs, other professionals in social work, such as those with master's degrees or diplomas in social work, also engage in research activities. They may collaborate with academic institutions, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, or government agencies to conduct research that addresses pressing social issues and informs interventions and policies. Research in social work in India encompasses a wide range of topics, including poverty alleviation, community development, gender equality, child welfare, and mental health. Scholars and practitioners from India play a crucial role in generating knowledge and advancing the field of social work through their research endeavors. In India, social work research is conducted within diverse settings, including universities, research institutes, NGOs, and government organizations. These entities employ researchers to investigate social issues, evaluate programs, and advocate for policy changes that promote social justice and well-being. Overall, social work research in India is characterized by collaboration, innovation, and a commitment to addressing social inequalities and promoting social justice for all individuals and communities. So, what is research? It is a careful and detailed study into a specific problem. A professional researcher, usually a PhD or professional social worker, turns this problem into an answerable question and a hypothesis by looking at previous research, conducting an experiment, and reviewing their findings. The previous research can come from their own experiments, other experiments that have been published in professional literature, and by speaking to peers and colleagues.